Good morning. For the record, Brendan Volsky, on behalf of Courtney. Yes, and Christine.
Ma'am, your name? So let me start by saying here that, and she's off the Adderall now, right?
Correct.
It looks like you're doing good on bond. The prosecutor's office has consistently said 60 to 90 days. I've argued with them over the language. They've left it to my discretion. But there's no way I can justify not sending you to jail today. I'm going to listen to what your lawyer says. I'm going to do the best I can for you, but this is a third. And even though you're getting in sobriety court, that will help you tremendously. But there's no way I can rationalize not doing that in my brain. So with that, and we have elected to admit her. So with that, Mr. Dabolsky, have you had a chance to review the report with her? And are there any material additions, corrections, or deletions?
No, we reviewed it and there are no additions, corrections or deletions.
All right. What would you like to give me your excellent words of wisdom, as you always do, so I can do the best I can for her here?
Well, thank you, Your Honor. With that being said, before I dive into all her redeeming qualities, I just want to remind the court, yes, this was reduced from the prosecutor's office. And with that being said, Your Honor, I know that you said it's hard for you to deviate your mind from the jail time, but I do.
I didn't say it's hard for me to deviate from the 60 minimum days. I'm not saying that. Go ahead.
All right, strap in. Today we got a repeat alcohol-related case, and the judge is already signaling something huge. There's no way I can justify not sending you to jail today. The defendant is in sobriety court, claiming progress, support, and compliance. But the court is staring at a third offense and a credibility test. The lawyer's about to sell redemption. The judge is about to talk consequences. And the final ruling comes with a do it perfectly or you're going away ultimatum. Question for you right now. Should sobriety court replace jail on a repeat case? Or is jail the only message that works?
Oh, I was going to just remind the court that according to the plea agreement,
I know, I've completely.
Your Honor could waive all.
Exactly.
It's
I know.
all within your
No, I know that. I know.
So,
For the longest time, they sent me minimum 60 to 90 with work release if eligible.
right. yeah.
And then it was if they do anything wrong at all or they don't make it through, I have to give them a year. And I fought with them because they're not the judge on the probation violation sentence. I am. And I don't mean to sound uppity about it. I just mean prosecutor's office should not be telling judges what to do in the event of a probation violation. I fought that war for years and I finally got it where it's reasonable. But she's got 3 offenses. She had a 2-3. She's the ripe old age of 34 years old. And that's where we are. So go ahead. I'm going to listen intently. I promise you.
Standing before the court, my client is 34 years old. Okay, she does reside in Farmington Hills. She's here today with not only her mother that's seated directly behind me. I believe it's in the second row. But behind her, there's 2 individuals. Number one is her sponsor. So she's taken it upon herself to obtain a sponsor. And not only that, there's an individual seated next to the sponsor that is in Sharpton. He's very involved in AA. I think this court, he's dealt with this court in the past. He's familiar with this court.
Mr. Wells, who got through the sobriety court. I'm really, really, really proud of him. So proud of him. We put him as a supervisor on our court work program.
Oh, and that's a testament to how well he has embraced sobriety.
He's done. He gave me some gray hairs and some fits, but yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Well, he's taken it upon himself to stick his neck out on the line for my client. My client, from the very beginning, obviously there's bond conditions. My client has complied with those bond conditions. Your Honor made reference to that. She's an individual, first and foremost, Your Honor. The reason why she's getting into sobriety court is because she has a problem with alcohol. Okay. Yes, there were 2 priors. She was charged with a felony on this 3rd offense. It was reduced. She was given a break. It was reduced to a 2nd offense with sobriety court. She got it. Let me remind you, and I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way, but Your Honor, I had brought it to my client's attention that when she was working out here at the time at Leo's Coney Island, I guess on the report it indicates that she is employed there. She kind of is, but she's not working right now. She's on leave. from there, so technically she could go back, but she's taking a leave of absence to focus on her sobriety, which she truly needs to. So with that being said, she's taking it upon herself to not only attend AA 3 times per week, which brought proof for it. No,
I believe you.
feeling you trust me.
You don't have
but
to show me. I believe
I
you.
do have proof of all that. She's involved with an individual therapist once a month. She, she obtained the sponsor. Okay. She's doing IOP right now, which she's in compliance there. She has really kind of, for lack of better terms, grabbed the bull by the horns here. And she has embraced the fact that she is the type of person that can't drink, not just for this period of time while she's in sobriety court, while the case is pending, but for the rest of her life. She has gotten sober in the past, Your Honor. However, she was, like many individuals that are in that situation, they think that, if you just slowly go back and you don't drink as much, you don't really have an issue with alcohol. She'll be the first one to tell you she's an alcoholic and that she can't ever drink again the rest of her life. Matter of fact, we've spoken at like many a times throughout the duration of this case, and she has indicated that, it's not her friends that she's blaming for getting into trouble, but the people that she was running with just weren't people that were helping her in life. Matter of fact, now that she's sober, she's come to grips with the fact that sadly, these people probably weren't true friends, because now that she's not frequenting bars, hanging out and drinking at parties, they're not involved in her life. And she realizes that those aren't the type of people that she wants to surround herself with anyway, because she has lofty goals to turn her life around. She has been spared a felony conviction on her record, but most importantly, she's going to remain sober. She knows not only for just sparing trouble in the future, but for this case, she could go to jail for up to a year, but just to get her life back on track. I'm not using this as an excuse, Your Honor, of why she relapsed. I kind of want the court to understand what was going on at the time. It's like I said, it's not an excuse. She'll be the first one to admit that she chose to drive the car on the night in question. Thankfully, there was no accident. Nobody was injured or even worse, killed. The police officer actually pulled her over prior to, her driving. She ran out of gas right on the road. But nevertheless, with that being said, she has taken a positive approach to this. She even indicated to me that this is kind of crazy to hear this, but it's the best thing that could have happened to her. And the reason why is because it caused her to realize that she's not one of those people that can just drink, once in a while. She can't drink at all for the rest of her life. And Your Honor, just like that speech you gave that young man, 2 people before me, before my client, she's in the same boat. If she goes back to drinking, she's going to be like that gentleman if he doesn't clean up. She's going to end up in prison. And that's what happens when you can't identify, problems in your life. And she has to understand what her triggers are, and obviously remain vigilant against those, and stay sober. And I think this program is truly created for individuals like my client who have a problem, who want the help, who are going to actually gain something from getting that help. And I have no doubt in my mind, I'm standing up next to this young lady right now, and I've known her for a long period of time, but I have no doubt in my mind that she's going to do everything Your Honor orders her to do. She has, I know that she was ordered by the probation department to refrain from taking the Adderall. She has stopped taking that Adderall, as Your Honor had indicated.
But she got clearance from her physician, right?
She did. She did.
Because we just won't accept anybody, but probation, we stand very short of telling somebody you got to get off of medication. We only say, if the doctor thinks you need it, fine, but we can't accept you. So I just want to clarify that into the program. You follow me?
100%.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, she doesn't think it works as effectively as her new medicine, as effectively as the old, but at the end of the day, this is what she wants. She really wants this building. She wants you to allow her into it. However, one thing I will say, unbeknownst to Your Honor, and I wouldn't bring this up, but I think that, considering that, she's an individual that has a problem with alcohol, Yeah, if she was on bond, if she went back to drinking, Your Honor would throw her in jail, and it wouldn't really solve the problem. She could do, roughly, do her probation, 30 days.
This right here is a power moment in court because the judge is drawing a hard line between what prosecutors want and what judges are allowed to do. Prosecutors can recommend numbers like 60 to 90 days, but the judge is reminding everyone, sentencing discretion belongs to the court, not the prosecutor's office. And notice the judge's tone. He's not being uppity. He's defending the structure of the system. Also, the math of this case is brutal. Third offense history, prior dates mentioned, and the defendant's 34. So the court isn't treating this like a young mistake. The defense is about to argue support, sobriety, and treatment. But the judge's brain is stuck on one question. If you've been here before, why should I believe this time is different? Drop your take. Is the judge being fair or already decided?
In jail downtown if it didn't get reduced and be gone back, back doing what she wanted to do. She didn't want to go that route. She was fortunate to get this. And during the inception of this case, she's dealt with a lot. I have a letter from her doctor right here. Unfortunately, she has some pretty serious health concerns. They just detected.
Hand that up.
Yeah. It doesn't state everything, Your Honor, but I will say, yes. Your Honor, at her last doctor appointment, they detected some
some like high-risk cells that
I see. You don't have to talk about
right,
it.
but long story short, surgery is required. So,
I'd like to have a copy of this for the probation file.
something that's pretty serious.
So I want to make sure that you take this back, but I'm going to have a copy of this in the probation file. Go ahead.
Needless to say, I'll summarize it. It's a very serious medical condition that requires surgery. Obviously, thankfully, Your Honor, is potterly. But I know that Your Honor sees this as someone that has to be punished because of, the number of offenses. I'm asking this court to deviate, give my client a chance. She understands, Your Honor, that if for some reason you were able to see it that way, any violation, I'm so confident she's not going to violate. I'd say any violation, give her what you would typically give someone in this situation. But I think because she's gone to great lengths to prove, not only, no offense, not only to this court, but to prove to herself and her family that she can do this.
She got through the 35th District Court Sobriety Court program in 15, right?
Correct.
Did you graduate? That scares me, though.
Wow.
In a lot of ways, it scares me that was a second offense. You did that, you came out, and we're going to take a chance on you again. I don't usually put people in a sobriety court on when they've already done it, at least in ours, but I happen to think that we do pretty good with this. And I'm only saying, go ahead.
Well, Your Honor, I don't want to cut you off. One thing I sometimes get sidetracked, but what I was saying is I don't want to use this as an excuse, but what her mindset at the time was, is that her best friend in this world was her grandfather. And right before this incident happened, she had watched her grandfather's health rapidly decline. As a result of that, in order for her to cope with seeing her grandfather's health decline, she would use alcohol. She used it excessively. And thankfully, nobody was ever injured when, she was driving that day. But right after this incident happened, as a matter of fact, her grandfather passed while she was in jail. Took a huge toll on her. Clearly, she's emotional now. You can see how much that, just passing of that individual has affected my client. Thankfully, she didn't resort to using drugs or alcohol to cope with the loss. She did use alcohol to cope with continuing to decline in health. But, she's firmly committed to doing everything Your Honor orders her to do. I would ask, Your Honor, not to give her any jail time, allow her to do the probation, allow her to do work program. In lieu of that, she has another issue with some spots on her face that the dermatologist has to send out because they're concerned about issues there. She's going through it right now. And I would just ask you to allow my client to prove to this court that she's taking this matter seriously And that, any violation, Your Honor, give her what you were initially thinking of giving her today. But to take a flyer on her and allow her to prove that she is an ideal candidate for not only this program, but to prove to you that she's gonna do everything this court orders. She's not doing it just to, pacify you. She's doing it because she wants to help and she's a new person. I would ask you to, take all those statements into consideration and, obviously avoid the jail time. But my client does want to address the court herself as well before the honor.
Sure, go ahead. Take your time, relax. Do you want Kleenex or something?
Can I grab one?
Sure. You got them around here somewhere. Right there. Right here.
Thank you.
I just want to take a moment to, tell you thank you for giving me the chance to do this. And like he was saying that, I did resort back to old ways because I was his medical advocate. It was hard to watch him pass. It was hard to watch him get sick. And I'm sorry to pray. But
You're fine.
I was scared before it happened. I was scared of how I would drink after it happened. And like, this is a blessing. I feel like, it happened to me that way. I couldn't be sober when it did happen. And, I was sober. I've been sober since incident. I was released on the 13th. My grandpa passed on 14th. I was able to be there with him. I was able to withhold my promises. I do take full accountability. I understand what I was doing was wrong, and I didn't know that there were consequences. And I just really feel like things have been, I've been blessed to have this opportunity, and be there to honor his wishes and his last moments, and and then the therapy, the AA, a lot. It's doing well, I've met great people. I've been attending the meetings. I met Brett there, and then I had the impression that just the way he carried himself, and that I seen him here, and I was like, wow, like it just really inspired me. And I met my sponsor at another meeting, and I attend as much as I can, and it's just been beneficial. And on a lot of that, I was lacking with my own health concerns. So these last few months, I've been able to, take a lot of things on that I wasn't really, concerned about while I was, medically advocating for my grandfather. And, I do appreciate, everything you guys are doing here, and allowing me into, the program, and different opportunities to move forward. And I do see that, remaining sober is beneficial in my best interest, because, when I didn't drink with my recent diagnosis, and I didn't drink alcohol, and, when my grandpa did pass, and I really have seen, no way of life, and that it does just cause me more problems than it does help. And
You were in custody for one night at the time of this arrest. Is that true or false?
Correct, Your Honor.
Just give me a second, okay?
This is the emotional pivot of the entire hearing. Up to now, it's been legal strategy, work program instead of jail, proof of meetings, sponsor, therapy, medical issues. But when the judge slows it down and offers a Kleenex, that's not just kindness. That's the court acknowledging human stakes. And listen carefully. The defense tied the relapse to grief, watching her grandfather decline, then the arrest, then the grandfather passing right after. That doesn't erase accountability. She even admits she chose to drive, but gives context for the addiction cycle the court is trying to interrupt. The judge is weighing two things at once: public safety versus rehabilitation potential. And here's the real question for viewers. When someone cries in court, do you see remorse or manipulation?
Some lawyers think this job is easy, Mr. Volsky.
I would never think that, Your Honor. We face some difficult decisions every day.
24 months probation. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law or ordinance. If you change your address, place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You have to report as directed. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no marijuana. You're not to purchase, possess, or consume any one of those. You're not to go to any place where drugs are being sold or dispensed or used. You can go into a drugstore. Those are drugs, but that's not what I'm talking about. You can't go to parties. You can't go to drug parties. You can't go to bars. I'm not going to consider it a violation if you walk into a 7-Eleven because they sell beer either. But if their primary source of business is selling alcohol, you're not to go there. You're to submit to chemical testing, PBTs and ETGs when probation tells you to. They're going to have you test for the longest time 3 times a week, and then ultimately it will reduce to 2 times a week. They're recommending 60 days on the sober link going forward. I'm going to require 90 days. You're to attend 12-step meetings 3 times a week and provide written proof of attendance. You're to obtain an AANA sponsor. I know you said you have one, but you're to notify probation of that. You're to attend all substance abuse treatment in an approved facility and provide written proof of attendance. You're to attend the Victims Impact Panel. You're to attend and complete the Armed Specialty Program. You have to report to sobriety court review hearings with me every 2 weeks. Obviously, in the off weeks, you'll be with the probation department reporting to them. They'll let you do a lot of that by Zoom. You're to obtain and maintain employment with proof provided to the probation department. You are to pay fines of $200, costs of $300, $75 victims' rights fee, $50 justice assessment. So your fines and costs are $600 and $25. There's a screening fee of 60 for 685. You have probation fees of 480, bringing your total to 1,165. You have sobriety court fees of 360, bringing your total here to 1,525. I'm going to order 72 days jail, and I am going to tell you how I'm going to break that down. You have, like I said, $1,520 in fines and costs, 72 days jail, credit 1. You're going to serve 6 on the court work program. There's a $35 a day charge for that. Your court work program fees will therefore be $210, so your total should be, and if you don't mind checking this, Heather or Amy, whoever's in there, the total should be $1,735. I'll let you set up terms of payment with probation. So I'm ordering 72 days jail, credit 1. I'm going to let you serve 6 on the court work program, like I said. I'm going to let you serve 5 by way of community. And I appreciate the fact that you're coming all the way from Farmington Hills, but that's just, I'm going to require that. 5 days of community service by May the 1. You're to serve 60 days jail beginning. You're going to give me a review hearing date, Amy and Heather, please, for about 2.5 months from now. You're coming back on that date. You're starting your 60 days. You will come in here for that review hearing. If you're compliant 100%, not 99, I'll probably not require you to serve any of that jail time. If there's any violation, you're going away. Do we understand one another? Can you guys give me a review hearing date? I don't care what day. Just the middle.
About 2.5 months, like the middle of April.
Yep.
We can do April 15th. I think that might be one of your sobriety court days, so.
We'll do it on April 15th then at 8:30 in the morning. I would be highly, highly, highly unlikely to give you jail if you're compliant, but it has to be 100%. If it's not, you're going to jail. Do we fully and completely understand one another? You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of appeal. You could get a year if you violate. If you don't get through the program, you're likely going to do a year. I'm going to do this for you. There's something in my gut that tells me that you're going to be compliant. But I'm telling you, I don't want to come across as threat. You have no idea what kind of a break you're getting here today. And if you don't comply, you're not going to like me. You get through this program, you'll actually like me by the end. Not if you don't comply. I'm going to let probation set up terms of payment. I don't have to take any revocation act or immobilization action. The last was in 15. That's the other thing I'm looking at. First was 9, then 15, then 25. You know, and some will think it's too easy. Some will think I'm too. That's the price we. Good luck. I hope I don't have to send you to jail. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Can I have Dylan Lane Haynes? 26260470775. Good luck, ma'am. You're going to meet with probation.
So here's what happened in plain terms. The court recognized a repeat pattern, multiple offenses, but also saw structure forming. Sobriety court, probation supervision, frequent testing, meetings, sponsor accountability, and strict behavioral limits like no alcohol, no bar/party environments, and regular check-ins. The judge issued 24 months probation, a long list of conditions, and laid out the financial obligations with fees and totals. Then imposed 72 days jail, credit 1, with part of it shifted into a court work program and community service. But the most important part is the warning. The judge is basically saying you're getting a rare break, 100% compliance, or you're going away. This is a high-stakes courtroom gamble. The system betting rehab can work if the defendant does everything required. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, And don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.